I want to get your insights into what's going on behind closed doors. Are you happy? Or is Stephen Fry right? He's been lambasted by many in the media for saying, I'll give you his quote directly, that sex is the price that women will pay for a relationship. Philip Hodgson is a psychotherapist and broadcaster, and I asked him what his reaction was to Stephen Fry's comments.
Well, I was staggered. I mean, I think he's being imperceptive, possibly even slightly heterophobic.
Heterophobic?
Heterophobic,
Let me make a note of that. I've not heard that before. Heterophobic.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, he's really saying very hard things about the terms on which women will have sex. I mean, if his argument is, do women like raw sex, I wonder if he has any idea how many vibrators are sold each year to women in this country. It's about 3 or 4 per household. And looking at the wider argument, I think he overlooks 2 or 3 things.
Right, let me go back a bit. Raw sex, well, what do you mean by that? What is implied in that?
If you're counting orgasms, if you say, do women like orgasm, then the answer is clearly they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't invest tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds in female vibrators. That's why they buy them. Now, you could say that's got all sorts of implications for relations between the sexes and so on and so forth. But the argument is, on his side, that they're not really interested in sex, unlike men, because they're always trading a relationship or a wedding ring for sex.
Or could we say that men aren't doing their job properly, or we wouldn't need any vibrators in the first place?
No, because God plays a role in this. He didn't actually set up sexual intercourse terribly well for female pleasure. To put it very bluntly and not too early in the morning, things don't always strike where they should and hit the spot.
So we blame God then, not Stephen Fry?
We blame nature, God, biology, whatever you want to say, and it's not just Stephen, that he should take some responsibility for misunderstanding these facts. But I think it goes on that, generally there are social consequences to having sex. Women have not had the same social confidence and freedom, frankly, down the ages, and they've been left to deal with the consequences of meaningless sex.
Is Stephen Fry talking about certain websites I've heard about this morning, like the gaydars.com, where people go online, sign up as gay men, put their statistics, their private part measurements and things like that, and then first come, first serve, so to speak?
Yeah, I think he's writing about some men, not all, but there is a distinction, which is that women, by and large, although they like sex, they quite like to know the name of the chap on top of them. Many men tend to still accept utterly meaningless sex if it's available. I think Woody Allen made a joke about it once.
So would straight men be willing to do this if only they could get it? It's just that gay men are all the same, in your opinion, and therefore there's a certain understanding.
No, I'm not saying all gay men are the same. I'm saying that there is a greater evidence of this in the gay community, precisely because you're looking at a majority of men with men. I think the difference comes back to what women require, and you could even argue they're slightly more evolved than men. They need to have personality, they need to have relating, they don't necessarily need to have a signed-up relationship. And they do like sex because they do like orgasm, because they buy vibrators in enormous numbers.
Yeah, you keep saying that. So from what Stephen's saying then, he does have a certain point, and he was making a point for his community quite well, do you think?
I think he's making the point that there is a sexual freedom in the gay community, which by definition will be there precisely because the whole question of the differences between the sexes is by and large not going to be negotiated, and the whole question of fertility and reproduction and having children and families is, generally speaking, apart from some social arrangements you can make, not going to be at issue.
What right does he have to make these comments with very little experience with women in the first place?
Well, that's why I say maybe there's a slight heterophobia about this. That, and when I say phobia, I mean fear, not hostility, not hatred. I'm talking about an anxiety and a discomfort, which may well be born of inexperience. I'm sure he's got lots of close female friends, but I think he's been threatened on more than one occasion by one of his close friends who said, I think it was Emma Thompson, that if I really want to control him, I just threaten to take my clothes off.
Does he have a point overall, very finally, that men actually want sex more than women, or is that a total myth?
I think that is a myth, in that I think men want a lot of sex with a lot of different people. Women want a lot of sex with a man whose name they know.
Very interesting to talk to you this morning. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Philip Hodgson is a man who seems to know everything about the psychology of 1-2 Buckle My Shoe, and I wish you well with all your phone calls in the background.
I'm terribly sorry about that.
Alex Belfield in the morning.
BBC Radio Leeds.
So we're trying to get to the bottom of love and romance this morning and what's going on behind closed doors. Stephen Fry's come out and said that sex is the price that women will pay for a relationship. Ladies, I need your honesty now on the text 81333. Start your message with Leeds, standard rates apply. Are you happy in the bedroom? Is everything fine? Or is this a myth? Are blokes lazy? Or is Stephen Fry right that the gay community actually are the most liberated and have the least baggage, and that's why they have better sex? Gordon Hops joins us in the studio now. He's from Bent Magazine. Good morning to you, Gordon.
Good morning.
Your reaction so far to everything you've heard?
Well, first of all, I admire you greatly for the way you've danced around the euphemisms you've had to dream up, so as not to say any naughty words.
Very good.
Let's just face it, it's all a matter of getting down and having a damn good cuddle.
Good cuddle, yes. Horizontal jogging, how about that?
Oh, no. But to get to the point, gay men more sexually liberated, well, I think it's a new thing for us to be able to talk about it, so we tend to shout about it. But then again, everybody's different, and certainly in the relationships I know, even within partnerships, there's one partner that loves the idea of open and free sex, and there's others that don't like the idea at all. So it's really not something you can generalise about, I don't think.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning then. Let's start with his comments. Should he have made them in the first place?
Well, he made it in a gay magazine aimed at a gay audience, and I think he was just picking up on perhaps things that he'd been told by the women that he knows. You've got to understand that for women, a gay friend is the only person they can actually confide in without it going any further. They can express more of their fears and hopes about their sex lives than they can to their husbands or partners. So perhaps he knows from experience. I don't know, because I don't know the man himself, but there's a point.
I was talking to some of my friends in show business who are gay yesterday, and they were telling me about websites where you can go on and basically put in your dimensions, and it's first come, first served, so to speak. I'm not aware of any of those websites with the straight community.
Before you go on a minute,
yes.
Have you researched for straight websites on that?
Well, I know a little bit about them, and I'm not aware of any forum where you can go on. There maybe is, but I can't find it. I never heard about it. And my God, if there was, I could be tempted. Look at this face.
In that case, how come the sites like the dogging sites are so prevalent everywhere? People, and that's supposedly the straight community going out and getting sex wherever they want it. I mean, it's just a similar thing. It's just that most guys, gay guys, seem to have cottoned on to the fact that you don't have to prop up a bar all night, although you can do if you want to get a relationship going. Now, whether that's a permanent relationship or just a passing relationship, gaydar and the likes of gaydar is a really good way of meeting people. Whether people like the idea of meeting via computers or not, it's a fact.
Well, it doesn't seem very romantic, but you make a very good point, actually, that it saves the cost of dinner, it saves the nonsense of going around trying to find someone. Is that really what you've done then? You've just cut to the chase to get to the bottom of this issue and kind of speed everything up?
Romance comes later. Romance isn't when you meet somebody, is it? There's nothing romantic about propping up a bar half cut and thinking, I'll have her or I'll have him. There's nothing nice about that at all. If you can do it and you already know what the other guy wants, what the other guy's into, that certainly cuts out an awful lot of messing around and wondering.
Okay, 0845 303 3333 is my telephone number. On the text 81333. Start your message with Lee. Standard rates apply. Norris and Mary on in a bit from Coronation Street. From
is that a euphemism as well?
Going from the insane to the ridiculous. Gordon Ops is with us from Bent Magazine. In a moment, we're going to talk to one of my favourite people, Kate Smithers, will be on as well. Let me go to the text this morning. I'm sure that Stephen Fry is correct. That is why most men I meet nowadays are married, says Peter in Otley. Dave in Seacroft says Stephen Fry's a crackpot trying to stay in the limelight only. And Non says, I think that hormones have a lot to play with this. Sometimes I could tear my husband's shirt off. Other times, not bothered at all, not fussed. 2, women's reputation. 3, family commitments such as children also distract from the sex life. I enjoy sex, but maybe not at the same time or as frequently as my husband. Love you and love the show. Thank you very much. Anon on the text. And also one just come in from Alison. Stephen Fry is a gay man. What would he know about this? Women love sex. It's men that get bored with it, says Alison on the text. 81333. Start your message with Leeds standard rates apply. Let me go to Kate now, who joins us on the programme. She's a comedian, writer and feminist, and I know will want to get in on this. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning to you, Alex. How are you?
I'm really good, love. Are you less, downstairs in the downstairs department? Compared to me, is there less of it?
I think it's absolute rubbish. It's quite funny, isn't it, how there's 30 million women in this country. When we want to find out about women's sexuality, we go and ask a gay bloke. It's sort of like there were other options. You could have rung someone else. Ring me. I'll let you know what's going on. And no, there's absolutely. I'm sure there are individual women who aren't much into sex, just as there are individual men who aren't. But I think what we're actually seeing is not so much a difference in people's sexual desire, but I think we're seeing a difference in the way that people feel able to talk about it. I mean, there are still two words that I know in the English language that are specifically there that mean a woman who is awful because she enjoys sex and because she wants to have sex and because she regularly has sex. We've got words specifically to say that. And there aren't words, it's that sort of, he's a stud, and she's a something else that I won't say at breakfast time. But there's all sorts of nasty words we use for women. And it's funny because I think it goes right through the community. I certainly have a very close gay male friend, who really wants to settle down and sort of, he's quite young and he sort of just moved down actually from up north down to London, and he really sort of wants to get married and settle down and sort of have a sort of husband and a loving relationship. And everybody he meets wants to sort of, he sort of tells him, like, oh, you must want to sleep around.
Okay.
And he's going, but I don't, and stop assuming that about me. I'm not like that.
But let's go to Gordon on this, and I'm going to come back to you, Kate. There is a large proportion of the gay community who just enjoy sex for what it is, which was what it was created for, just to have fun. And whether you agree with being gay or not being gay is not my debate this morning. The reality is your community have mastered the art of enjoying yourself in the bedroom, haven't you, really? Let's be honest.
Well, I wouldn't just put it down to gay people enjoying themselves. People who like sex enjoy themselves wherever they have it. It's not just one thing or the other. You can't be gay and you like sex and heterosexual and you don't like it. It doesn't work that way. Some people do, some people don't. But to go back to the comment of Stephen Fry, I think he was just saying something that he'd become aware of when people talk to him. But perhaps your other guests will know an awful lot better, being a woman, exactly how sexually annoying it is to be told that you're only in it for a partner.
Let's ask you that question, Kate. Is it insulting that he implies, and not just implies, but actually says that you only want a free frock out of giving me 1-2 buck on my shoe?
Well, exactly. It is, and if this is true that women don't enjoy sex and it's all a big trick and subterfuge to try and get what we want in life. Well, first of all, this is a massive scale deceit. There's millions of women all over the world pretending we enjoy this sort of thing to get something out of it. Firstly, it paints women in a very deceptive way. But secondly, if that's true, then it's not working. We earn considerably less than men. In fact, as it happens today, I believe, or yesterday, is Equal Pay Day. Today is the day that effectively, if a man stopped getting paid today, we'd all earn the same over the year. This is the day, effectively, at which women stop getting paid. So, and we have virtually none of the seats in government, and we don't run any.
All right, enough about that. You can rant about that another day.
If we're trying to get something that we want out of this big sex trade-off, we're kind of failing, aren't we? We should stop and not bother if that's what's going on.
Hazel on the text says, Stephen's spot on with what he says. I'm 63 and have spent my lifetime with a vibrator because men just don't do it for me. It's a guided secret, says Hazel on the text. Can I ask you...
She's not saying she doesn't enjoy sex. She's saying her husband's not doing what she wants. And in actual fact, when we talk about the physical sensation of sex, it absolutely is women who go out and buy vibrators and go to Ann Summers. And that would imply to me that men don't tend to go out and do that kind of thing. So it would seem to me that we're almost saying that it's women who enjoy the physical side of it more.
Back to Gordon Hops, who's from Bent Magazine.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think the problem with guys and women is the guy's only in it for what he can get, and he gets there fairly quickly, whereas a woman takes a bit more time. And I think that's a biological thing, and I think you're right. I think a guy does get bored once he's got whatever he needs and the woman's left to her own devices, and no wonder she's annoyed by the whole thing.
You need to be a mechanic. It's like fixing a Ford Fiesta, isn't
Well,
it?
you'd know.
Gordon, before we go, very finally, has this helped the gay community, or does it not matter? Is this just a PR story?
Well, yes, I think it is. I mean, Stephen Fry is much loved by just about everybody. It's given somebody a chance who hated him to give him a damn good kicking, and I think that's basically what all this is about. I'm sure that those of us who quite like Stephen know that this has not been coming from the heart. This has been coming from a PR stunt.
All right, good to talk to you. Thank you for coming in today. Gordon Hops from Bent Magazine. Have you got a website if people want to get in touch?
Yeah, if you want to go to mag.bent.com, we'd love to hear from you.
Very nice. And thank you also to Kate Smurthwaite. Always nice to get you on the programme. Comedian, writer and feminist,
pleasure,
of course.
Alex. Speak to you soon.
And
Take
in
care.
terms of what's going on in your bedroom right now, everything okay? Anything we need to worry about?
I think I'm all good, but I think it's worrying that Stephen is sort of encouraging men to see their partners, their female partners, as somehow tricking them or deceiving them. If I show up and I'm keen to have sex with you, trust me, what I want is sex.
Thank you very much for coming on the programme this morning, Kate. I have your number. 07879. Oh, no, that's my number. I was going to give my own mobile number out then. She'd got me started. 0845 303 3333. That could have been dangerous. On the text, 81333. Start your message with Leeds. Standard rates for play. I'd got a vision in my head with a ball going round in the ceiling. I was in a 1980s disco for a minute.